Good morning, YouTube friends. Welcome to Vlogtober, week 3. I missed the first week. My name is Corrinala, and I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, where I live with my partner, our 2 kitties, and the 2 horses that I'm going out to feed right now. It is morning. I don't think it's 8 o'clock yet, but as you can see, it's kind of dark. It's supposed to rain all day, so the clouds keep the light low. I don't really mind this time of year because look at this. Look at the blueberries. The leaves are beautiful, and I've mentioned before that in the Pacific Northwest we don't have such temperature extremes because of the giant Pacific Ocean that really regulates our annual temperatures, but we do have seasons of light, and that is what I enjoy the most. Yes, the field mower, the broken field mower is still here. Haven't had a chance to really do anything with that. There's a lot going right now for both of us in terms of work, and with my dad still being in the hospital. We do plan to go visit today. The barn lights are off, so apparently sunrise has happened. It's hard to tell. And just want to share I think the subtle colors of fall. We don't have like the northeast hardwoods flora. We have evergreens, so you can see all the beautiful evergreens. And there's the beautiful Odin the Mustang, and Braggy the Mustang is probably in there with him, patiently waiting for their breakfast. So I'm going to get to it. So I'm out in the pasture, just opening one of the gates for the boys, and I'm just worked with both of them in the round pen, so they get the rest of the day to enjoy pasture time. As you can probably tell, it's raining, and I'm about to do some barn chores. What I wanted to talk about a little bit was Braggy's trailer loading lesson yesterday. And if you haven't seen, I posted a little short video of it in Vlogtober 2, that episode, which is the episode that's previous to this one. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description box, but quite honestly, I've been having trouble with YouTube right lately. Sorry, you didn't need to see that. Trouble with YouTube saving changes when I upload the video and then add the description box text, so that's why that hasn't been there. Again, it's the video that's previous to this one, so hopefully very easy for you to find. But the thing about the trailer training is that it's been about a month since Braggy had any trailer training at all, because I was out of town, my trainer was out of town, I had work obligations. Hi, buddy. And so the timing just was terrible. Hi. You want to say hi to everyone? Hi, Braggy. Yeah, you're adorable. You're adorable. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, good boy. But after during the session yesterday with Braggy in the trailer, my trainer said that even without all that time off from the trailer specifically, I had been doing some other work with him, just round pen work and helping him understand pressure and what happens if you get scared, what's the best thing to do. And really the answer is to look to me for direction. If I'm calm and saying it's no big deal, then he has learned to calm down from that. So that's what I've been doing, not any specific trailer load training. But my trainer said that we had not lost any ground from that time off. And sorry for the noise. I'm doing up the round pen so that there is no temptation to chew on my nice ground poles because of wood. And sometimes when they get bored, that's what they do. So that was really encouraging. Lost no ground, and also, in fact, gained a little ground, getting much closer to closing the divider and feeling confident about that. So what that tells me is that, you know, if I were to go ahead and get him started under saddle, just at this pace, very slow, it's easy for him to learn, he can understand. I feel really comfortable about starting him under saddle when we get to that point. So there are some gelding shenanigans. Because that, I mean, based on what we learned about the trailer loading, is that if a month goes, you know, once we get to where he accepts the saddle, if a month goes by, he's going to remember that last lesson, and we can just pick up where we left off. So there's no need for me to, like, I'm going to need to ride him 3 times a week, which I frankly don't have time for. So, I mean, I hardly have time to ride Odin as much as I want. So, and he's my main riding horse. So this gives me a lot of comfort, and I think I'm going to go ahead with that plan. And that's my update on Breggy's trailer training, and I'm going to get to doing some yard chores. Good morning, everyone. Happy Vlogtober, Sunday, October 27th. It is just before 7 a.m. and you can see it's quite dark out and raining. So I am walking out the barn to feed the horses a little bit early. Usually I wait till daylight, but I'm going early because Randy's cooking breakfast like he always does on weekends. And I am going to Zoom with my mom and my sister right after that. So thought I would give the boys some hay. They probably have enough hay from last night, but I don't like them to go hungry. So I'm just scanning the woods for critters, usually deer is what I see in here. Just stop and admire the creek for a minute or a second. It's not even going to be that long. So it rained quite hard not too long ago. So I don't know if you can see that or not. Here's the outfall. So pond's pretty full. What else has been going on? We went to visit my dad in the hospital yesterday afternoon. He was in really good spirits. So I think he's feeling a lot better. We saw him get up and walk a few times, so his leg is doing much better. He's not on the IV antibiotics anymore, so hopefully he can go home either today or tomorrow. So we will wait and see. My uncle is going to come up and watch football game with him today. So his social calendar is full. Hi, boys. So they're out there. I don't know if you can see them or not. That's the gray blob out there. So I'm going to get to feed. So I finished feeding. It's a little bit lighter. I think you need my headlamp now. I didn't pick manure. I just gave them hay and grain and refilled the empty hay bags. They were not out of hay, so that's good. I just wanted to give you a little update about knitting projects. So yesterday I finished one of Randy's chili podster mitts that were a gift for his birthday last April. So I hope to finish those soon now that I know what I'm doing. And I cast on a new gift knit, which I won't be showing, but I'll give you periodic updates on that. All right, we'll talk soon. Good morning, YouTube friends. Welcome to Vlogtober continued. It is Monday, October 28th, 2024. It's almost 8 a.m. It's a gray day. The sun rose, I suppose, about 10 minutes ago. So it's just still very much dawn. I got to spend a lot of time knitting yesterday, which is pretty awesome. I made a lot of progress on a gift knit. It's a new pattern I'm trying, so my gauge was off, which isn't surprising, I know that. So I had to do some math, and I was expecting to have to knit, I don't know, I guess maybe 3 times as many rounds as what I am knitting right now. So that was kind of a nice surprise, knowing what the dimensions are supposed to be and how that works in my gauge. I also spent some time working with the horses yesterday, so it was a pretty relaxing day. Got to spend some time outside between rain showers, and you can see that the pond is pretty full. So it didn't rain that much of the day yesterday, but when it did, it rained kind of hard. I hope you're enjoying the Vlogtober content, because I think I'm thinking of doing something similar for Vlogmas in December, kind of doing a daily vlog that I combine into a weekly episode. So let me know if that's interesting to you, or if you'd rather have different content. Well, good morning, waiting for breakfast. Assume Braggy's in his stall. Nope. There's Braggy. Right by the stump. So hopefully not chewing on it. So I'll get to breakfast and see what the deal is. Good morning, everyone. Happy Vlogtober. Today is, see the bunny. Today is Tuesday, October 29th. It is about 20 after 7. Still quite dark out. Sunrise isn't predicted. That's the right word. The sun will come up. It will come up at, I think, 7:50. So I have talked about kind of the seasons of light. And one thing I really like about the Pacific Northwest is we have very long dawn and twilight. So it can be, even though it's dark this time of year, starting to get dark, it's really the dark season around November 15th to January 15th. Sometimes you can find light at unexpected times. So, and by that I mean in that pre-dawn and pre-dark period. So we've had some rain, talked about that. It really hasn't been steady rain. We've had more short bursts of rain. So the creek is running very nicely. I think today is mostly supposed to be cloudy. One thing I wanted to give you an update on is that my dad called me yesterday from home. So he was discharged and got to go home. So that was pretty awesome. I think he's super happy to be there. It was a long stay in the hospital, a long necessary stay. I'm glad he's home. There are the horses. Good morning, boys. Oh, Odin's cough just is really interesting. I don't really know what triggers it. I've improved some housekeeping. Still not sure what causes it, but I'm gonna get to feeding. Good morning, everyone. This is a continuation of Vlogtober. It is, let's see, it's Wednesday, October 30th. So just today and tomorrow is left for Vlogtober. I will wrap this up into an episode, one of my regular episodes. I think Herbert's gonna jump up. Oh, well, this is Harley. Yes. Say hi, Harley. He's interested in my little stitch or row counter because I've been knitting this morning. It's about 5:30 a.m. I'm going to start work in about a half hour. but I'm gonna get a little kitty time and a little knitting time. So the project I'm working on are my Sockaween socks. I'm working on the incantation socks. Harley's very interested in these. I've done the heel turn and am now in the gusset decrease part of it. So I don't know that I'm going to finish these in time for Halloween. I would have to work on them tonight when I do my relaxation knitting, and then again tomorrow. And it's possible. It's certainly possible if I focus on this project, and there's no reason why I can't do that. So maybe I will have them for Halloween. So we'll see. The yarn I'm using is a sock set from Freckled Whimsy, self-striping. It's a 12 stripe repeat. So I'm going to have plenty of yarn probably for at least another pair using the main. This one probably after I do the toe on this pair, I might have a little bit left for some cuffs or something like that. So I'll have to weigh it after I'm done. I typically do 48 rows. Here's the finished one. 48 rows of leg. This one has 18 rows of 1x1 rib, and then the foot is generally around 56 or 60. The bag is made by my mom, so simple drawstring bag. I've showed this lots of times, so it's one of my favorite sock bags. I have other knitted projects going on. Right now I'm focusing on some gift knits. One of them is the Chili Podsters mitts that I'm making for Randy, and I would show you, except I have a cat in my lap and I don't think he would like to be disturbed. But I've started the cuff on the second one and doing the thumb increases. So I expect this one to go a lot faster once I, I'm able to focus on it and let Harley get settled here. And then I'm working on a gift knit too, which is actually going pretty quickly. So, which I can't show. I'm thinking about sharing it on Instagram because I know that the recipient doesn't use social media. So that might be a good place to share it. But I'll do that when it's closer to being finished. I was also going to show you some socks that I'm wearing. They are, it was the sock along, the Stephen West sock along from last summer. Really fun. Stephen West has complex patterns, but he explains them very well. So I really like this pair of socks. It seems to me it was there's definitely 2 strands of yarn. And there's a lot of slip stitches, so it makes a really pretty pattern that's not color work, but it kind of looks like it, so that's pretty cool. But alas, I can't show you because Harley's in my lap. And Harley has priority. So today should be the last day of my big project, which will be a giant relief. I'm already pretty relaxed about it, even though I have one document remaining that needs to be signed by 4 parties in different agencies. It was circulated yesterday and there was a mistake found, so it had to be, even though two parties had signed it, they know that the revised one is coming and it has to go in sequence. So the first party signs it, didn't get to it yesterday. So hopefully today, and hopefully I'll get that wrapped up so I can just complete the project today and then take a couple of chill days of doing like regular, what I would consider kind of easy work. On Friday, I do have to go south to a site visit, but that is pretty much the only thing I'm going to be doing that day. And then Monday, I plan to kind of start fresh. So that's what's happening. I can't think of anything else. It's just been, I didn't get to work with the horses yesterday. I don't know that I will today. Maybe I will if I'm still waiting for that document. around lunchtime. So that's a possibility. Oh, I wanted to show you a new acquisition I got. Of course, the phone is sitting on that. So bear with me. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. So I got this book. I have been looking at it for a long time. There's a lot of really neat motifs in it. You can see on the front there's dinosaurs. On this side there's sunshine and penguins down here in the corner. So pretty fun. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. My favorite patterns are cowls that are kind of like a mini poncho. They fit kind of almost around the shoulders instead of the regular, typical kind of circle cowl. So I haven't seen like a pattern basis for that except for what Telly B Knits does. So I may just use one of her patterns to draft my own. But there's a ton of motifs in this. Waves, water, flowers, other plants, some animals. So here's a good example. I mean, there's like crab and dragon, and let me see what else you can see in there. Ducks, nautilus, chambered nautilus, sorry for the glare. So pretty fun stuff. So I'm looking forward to kind of putting these together. I also have another book coming that is Pacific Knits Co.'s doodle book with also some, it's very similar to this. So I'm just looking forward to doing some mixing and matching of motifs to make something. And this book has some patterns. It has hats, and I don't know if it has sweaters. I mean, that's kind of fun too. Yeah, this one has a sweater. It has a pullover. And I know, and this one also has mitts in it. So fun stuff. I might be able to, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, but I might be able to use the raglan increase pattern instructions in here to think about how to increase, do an all over increase for a cowl or a mini poncho. So that's what I'm thinking about. So I'm gonna get ready for work and feed the horses around 7:15 or so after it gets light, and get on with my day. So happy October 30th, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, YouTube friends. Today is the last day of Vlogtober. It is October 31st at 7:35 in the morning. The sun is not quite up yet. It's a little bit cloudy. Happy to report that for my Sockoween socks, I have 8 rows of foot left and then 18 rows of toe, and then they will be done. So I fully expect to have those finished tonight. Not that I'm going anywhere this evening to celebrate Halloween, but it's just nice to meet a deadline. The pattern I'm using is the Incantation Socks by Kay Jones. It's a fun pattern, easy to memorize. A 4-row repeat, works great with self-striping yarn, which I'm using Freckled Whimsy in a 12-stripe repeat of some great fall colors. Speaking of fall colors, isn't that pretty? Little maple. So I'm walking out to feed the horses. I see Braggy up there, waiting patiently for breakfast. I kind of scrimped on their hay last night because they've been leaving a lot of hay and wasting it, and that's money. So we'll see And there's O. So hopefully they cleaned up their hay. I don't know if you heard or saw that bunny that was just like skittering around me. Good morning, boys. Would you like breakfast? Okay, I'll get to feeding. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the knitting portion of my podcast. I am going to put on my glasses. So I want you to notice that I'm wearing my Riverside sweater, which was a finished object earlier this year. So there's one sleeve where the main color was red, even though it's not supposed to be a main color. Is that right? Am I telling you the right thing? No, I'm not. This is the one where red was supposed to be a contrast color along with this light color. And this was the main color, but it ended up being very red dominant. So I ripped a lot of it out and redid a lot of the red parts so that they're this main color. This brown and white are locally sourced yarns from a sheep farmer up in the Skagit Valley. Harmony Fields Farm is the name of the farm, and she also does herbs and cheeses, sheep's cheese, of course. And then this yarn, which is very rustic. It was also milled and spun in the Skagit Valley here in the Pacific Northwest. So it was a really fun sweater to knit, although I ended up ripping out, I'm going to say all the way like up to here and redoing this whole thing. It was a bottom up sweater, and I ended up doing it kind of top down once I realized how red it was going to be, and I wanted it to be more of this brown color. So that is that. I do have a finished object, and those are my Sockaween socks. They are in the laundry, so I'm not able to show you, but I will post a photograph. I also have some works in progress that I can share with you. I'm going to move you back a little bit because I feel like a very face forward here. There we go. Today is Sunday, November 3rd. I'm looking out the window. It's a typical autumnal day. We've gone back to Pacific Standard Time, so daylight savings has ended. So it's lighter, I guess an hour earlier, but it's also going to get dark at like around 5 p.m. now. So in about 12 days, that's when we kind of think about the darkness really setting in. And I have talked about the seasons here are seasons of light, typically. Yesterday, I went on a trail ride with Odin. The local trails and roads have opened up again for recreation after a 2.5, maybe 3 week hunting season. So it was really nice to get out yesterday. The trails in this particular track that's nearest me are not open. They're closed for the season, but you can ride roads on bikes and bicycles, not e-bikes, and horses. And then the trails are open for hikers and dog walkers. So in other parts of this tree farm, the trails are open. The soils in the area that's closest to me are more silty, so they tend to get muddy, whereas the trail systems east of where I am are more sandy, so they hold up a lot better to the wintertime use. I'm still working on my tea. Actually, this is my third cup, and I usually only drink 2. So I want to share with you one thing I forgot to mention, and I will post a picture in this, is that I saw a northern pygmy owl yesterday. It was really, really cute. The photograph's kind of awful because I was using my iPhone trying to get Odin to stand still, which, frankly, standing still is his favorite speed, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But the owl was a little bit far away. So here is the left mitt of the chili podsters. So I have the thumb gusset here. I have the first finger, and I will start the second, third, and fourth fingers. And then this marker, this line of yarn here, is where the the flap goes. So here is the finished right one, and this is what it looks like. So this flap, here is the front. I'll put it on for you. These are for Randy, so they're too big for me, but it's got like a thumb cover, and then the fingers, and then this comes up and over to keep your little patties warm. So these were for his birthday, which was in April. He got the pattern and the knitting needles, and then I went and picked out the yarn, which is, I think it is a Barocco Ultra Alpaca in, I believe this is worsted weight. So I'm making great progress on that. I expect to have, I've been doing this for my evening knitting, so I expect to have the rest of the 4 fingers done. So today's Sunday. I mean, maybe next weekend I will. The bag, which I love. It's made by my mom. A very simple drawstring bag. Zip. Protects my projects from the cats. Well, one cat in particular. Herbert, the yarn murdering cat. I finished, I also finished my cowl, but I think I've shown that in finished objects. The mystery cowl, the Witch's Brew, love that cowl. I will wear that until it's more Christmas season. So the next work in progress is this May sweater that I started in August 20th. And I have completed the body. So this has been my morning knitting. And I tried it on after I did the shoulder seam. So it's a 3 needle bind off. So it makes a very tidy seam. It can be a visible seam, and the instructions say to have the wrong sides together, but then it would show. So I did the right sides together, and it's just a really nice seam. So the next step for this is to pick up stitches around the neck. The pattern, so here it is. Let's see if I can. It fits. I thought it was going to be quite oversized, so I guess I fill it out quite nicely. Thank you very much. So the pattern calls for the neck ribbing to be in this main color, this gray. This is Squirrel Heather. It's Knit Picks. It's a DK weight. I think I'm going to use this color, which is a Barocco. And I'm going to, because I think it'll be really pretty. It'll tie these colors in together. And these colors are Spin Cycle, which I've talked before is supposed to be, I think, a worsted weight, but it's actually more of, it knits like a DK weight. So I might have this done by Christmas. It gives me 2 months. I mean, I've got other projects. I've got gift knitting that I'm doing. So I will talk about it, but I'm not going to show it. I've mentioned possibly posting a picture on Instagram because the recipient doesn't use social media. So I may do that so that my viewers that are on social media get a sneak peek. What else have I done? Oh, I have been watching a YouTube channel, a Canadian woman, Shannon Makes, and she is a circus acrobat and also a sewist, which I found her initially, I want to say it was a year or 2 ago, because I found her YouTube video on, she was doing vintage knitting, which I was intrigued by that, but she's mostly a sewist, and even though I'm not a sewist, I don't know how to use a machine. I have followed her for a long time, and then she bought a rundown house in a Victorian style house somewhere in Nova Scotia, and has a second channel. So I think, and she's been doing this house renovation, really cool. I'll get to my point here in a moment. So she's been doing the house renovation on Shannon Makes, and then she's been doing her more craftsy work on her second channel, Shannon Makes Something. So I was watching her, Shannon Makes, her main channel, and one of her sponsors is Mrs. Quilty, and it has these like little quilting boxes for any level, where it comes with a pattern or many patterns and fabric and stuff like that. So I ordered it. So we'll see. I might collect these for a month or two and see, because I'm thinking about it mostly for making gifts. My relatives are allergic to wool, so I can't really knit things for them unless I knit in acrylic, and I typically don't have acrylic in my stash. So, or non, I mean, I have a little bit of alpaca, a very little bit of alpaca, but most of my stash is wool, and I'm not buying yarn. So I was thinking of using these little quilty things for gifts. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a try. My goal would be to just hand sew. So hopefully I will be able to do that. So I just want to show the picture there. Those are my grandparents on my dad's side. That one's their wedding picture, and that one that you can't see very well is my grandma. There we go. And the painting is by my sister. We have other family art work in here too. Mostly my family's, my grandmother's paintings are in here, and then a couple of Randy's grandparents' keepsakes are in here too. So that wraps up the knitting portion. I will show the trail ride, little bits of the trail ride that I did yesterday with the owl, and a finished picture of my socks, a picture of my finished socks. Words, my goodness. I think that's all I have for today, so have a great week. This episode concludes Vlogtober, so this will be Vlogtober 3, and then I will do a similar format for Advent, Vlogmas. So let me know if you like the format, if there's other ways you would like me to do that. So take care and have a great day. So that actually went really well. The driver was very courteous. I asked her if it was okay if she stopped. I gave her a hand signal and she stopped, and Odin and I walked past, and it was fabulous. So really appreciate the courtesy that we most frequently experience around here. So I'll check in again later.